Hello, game restarters. Welcome back to Soul Calibur 4 as presented by RRC, your friends at Rocket Rabbit Commentaries, with its own Xbox 360 profile and Worms 2 Armageddon icon. We're going to show things straight from the top. You turn your game off, that's alright. All you got to do is turn your game back on and wait about 30 seconds for the opening material to play through so you can resume your ascent to the top in Tower of Lost Souls.
Alright. So, what are our goals for this particular session, Mr. Cloud?
The Predator's Feast.
Ooh, Lizard Man!
Your justice is only for yourself. Or something. But now we have access to a third character on the team.
Alright, so we're going in with Maxie.
Let's try varying up the combatants this time around.
Ivy. And I assume the apprentice?
I know, it's very tantalizing. Okay. That N icon over the apprentice means new, by the way.
Yes.
Some might think it means no.
Magnet. That means we're getting pulled towards him constantly, right?
As I understand, that is the function of the magnet ability, yes.
Okay.
You can also take note that...
we probably shouldn't have taken Keelik. We probably should have taken Voldo instead.
Well, how was I supposed to know that we were going to be magnetized? You know, it's okay to be intimidated by these foes, especially if you're new to the game. Because you cannot adjust the difficulty in Tower of Lost Souls, which I think is a good thing. What it does, however, is that... Oh, well, see, we got invisibility status for Keelik. That's good.
So, you managed to trigger it specifically by switching into him. Huh.
Interesting. Or maybe it activated spontaneously. New players to the game couldn't even utilize Tower of Lost Souls in its only steadily increasing difficulty to get their bearings on the game. So that way, by the time you get to higher difficulty floors, that you would have worked your chops up by sheer function of spending time with the game and practicing different techniques among the characters. Oh, and for the record, you can totally play as the same character for your entire team. You want to play as an entire team of Maxies? Go for it. I chose...
I would recommend that, honestly, but, yeah.
Not at first, anyway, because you don't have to. Because the point of the game is not just, okay, now you have to immediately optimize your strategy. Your early game opponents are going to be largely docile. They block a lot. They terminate their combos relatively early, so even if they had an attack of opportunity, that does not necessarily mean they're going to take it.
Alright, and these lizardmen are faster, and the first one can actually inflict poison on us.
Step speed up means that just that if you step around in any direction, that you'll do it at a slightly faster rate than normal. You want to do this in stages where you have to decrease distance if, for example, the opponent is adept at long range attacks, or if you need to grab your opponent. Because, as you can well imagine, you can't grab foes from a distance. Attacking low. I'm attacking high. No, I'm attacking low again. No, I'm attacking high again. You'll never guess when I'm about to hit. Nice grab.
Keelik's punishing throws.
And keep an eye out for those treasure chests. And try a bunch of different things to win the game, because they don't tell you exactly what the conditions are for unlocking this stuff right away. Not while you're in the mode in which you can get the treasure chest anyway. But as the game does require different approaches in order to take on the various and really obtrusive nuances that these characters get, then you will find yourself incidentally unlocking treasure chests just by the requirements that the stage puts on you.
So it looks like we weren't actually allowed to knock them out of the ring in this stage.
We could have. There were no walls up. Actually, a lot of these stages do not have walls. So what they do instead of giving walls is they will make it so the opponent cannot be easily knocked out of the arena with a nullify ring out ability. Like, for example, Boss Lizard Man here.
This one.
The fifth Lizard Man that we fought, he has nullify ring out A, but not nullify ring out S. If you have an S rank nullify ring out, you have the maximized probability of not getting ringed out. But just because he has nullify ring out A does not mean that he is 100% immune to ring out. So pay close attention to the skills of your opponents, and you will see the holes open up in their strategy where you can insert some kick-ass inputs and strategy. Nice counter.
A break counter.
Stun. Attack counter.
So most of what you're doing, Mr. Cloud, is pressing buttons.
Yeah, it's a button-pushing game. I used to believe that the only way to win Super Smash Bros. Melee is just a button mash. It's like, even I don't know what I'm about to do next. How could you?
Okay, so who is your preferred character to play on for most of Tower of Lost Souls?
You will come to discover what my player preferences are, but right now you're beginning to see, as Keelik spends more time on the screen, that Keelik becomes one of my favorite characters to play as.
Okay.
Maxi also spends a lot of time on the screen because of his ability to quickly open up opponents and string into combo attacks, but he ultimately falls by the wayside among a lot of the choices that I make early on. Because as the difficulty gets higher, you will find yourself developing some rather peculiar habits in times of procession. For example, the floors 8 to 10, Awakening Disaster. This floor took me a couple of attempts to finally get through all 3 of the floors, including Boss Cervantes.
I actually like playing as a majority of the characters in Soul Calibur 2 and Soul Edge. I'm not the biggest fan of Rock or Astaroth, but that's mostly because I find that their combo game isn't nearly as good as it's supposed to be. But Rock and Soul Blade actually has some decent combos to use.
In my opinion,
Derek, Elise, and Merej.
Pretty much all of the characters have something to bring to the table. There are no real wrong choices. They're just, some choices are better than others.
So it's a bunch of pirates.
Pirate theming.
That does make sense because we're going up against a Cervantes. So
I love it how the game can theme with the costumes and also create the corresponding abilities. Because a lot of these same costume pieces that you see on the earlier opponents, these are attainable costume pieces, so you can even build characters yourself that look like this. But looks are not everything. If you want your character to have certain skills, you have to adapt with the equipment. If you want your character to deal a certain amount of damage, meeting certain conditions, then you have to have your equipment do that. You want equipment that trades health or defense for power, you can do that. Kick in the face. And thrust.
And another pirate down. One more.
You again. You must be the captain.
So are all 3 of these based on Zhenghua?
Maybe.
Okay.
I can feel it.
Zane and Cootie. Cootie's definitely not based on Zhenghua. Looks like Zane's going to be based on
it's a big weapon they got there. Become a shield to repel the blade. The game, the first time you get a game over attempting any of these stages, the game doesn't give you any hints. Now that we have revealed that we are not 100% adept at completing the stages on the first try, now the game is going to start giving you these helpful hints to give you clues as to what are the AI routines and what is the correct answer.
It looks like the correct answer this time is actually supposed to be guard impact.
Guard, yes. If you can get an impact, all the better. The hint is the enemies are attacking more frequently now than in previous stages. So to counteract that, you want to block. You want to be ready to block the attack instead of attacking relentlessly.
Okay, so Cuddy is actually Songmina. All right.
All right.
I didn't actually remember if Songmina was in Soul Calibur 4 or not.
Well, it is nice to have characters return when they could have been omitted. Although I perfectly well understand that Link from Soul Calibur 2 does not necessarily have to be a playable character in Soul Caliburs 3, 4, 5, or 6.
So yeah, your invisible is in fact a manual skill. I'm not. Looks like you trigger it with Soul Charge.
Oh, but we're not through yet, soldier. Well, all the beatings that you've been taking on the way up.
Now we must deal with Cervantes, who deals more damage, has hyper mode, and is mostly immune to ring out.
The best offense is a good defense, and now the game is saying, okay, all that
Block,
stuff about...
you stupid bastard!
No, don't block. Attack when your opponent is open. Cervantes is a good mix of speed and power, but his reach is not that great. So get up right into his face. And then kick him in the face. Again and again. Okay, now he's going to try doing some dodging to the Z-axis. Z-dodging is a very effective way at stopping an opponent from continuing a hit string. Because the best answer for Z-dodging is to use a horizontal attack by pressing on your Xbox 360 controller the X button. Oh, both of my remaining characters are looking a little low on health now. He is almost in a state.
Cervantes is apparently immune to critical finishers. Huh.
Might be. Finish him, Keelik.
Yay!
No Dark Soul sliver of health left. If you have health left, I'm gonna take it down to 0, baby.
And in the next episode,
we're climbing higher and higher to the top of the tower, floor by floor, and you can come back for more.
Be safe, everybody.